XPR network and Metallicus are trying to bridge the world to blockchain and bring real world value to the financial arena, trying to optimize the legacy system, the traditional realm, with good partnerships, with good financial backing. So, look at this 8 channel essays that we are bridging the world to blockchain, folks. And for that, we need a good layer one, and XPR has that. And Crypto UK over here says that everyone hypes Solana, Avalanche, and Cardano. Meanwhile, XPR runs a layer one with instant transactions, zero gas fees, built-in identity plus fiat bridge, but people oftentimes underrate it, oftentimes take it for granted. Others chase hype. XPR basically is trying to build utility, and it is one of the most underrated layer ones in all of crypto, folks. And I agree because oftentimes, folks, even when let me pause this. Yeah, even when utility projects are mentioned, XPR network isn't highlighted that much. Now look at this. If we compare the market cap of XPR, it has a $145 billion market cap. Meanwhile, XPR only has $121 million of market cap. And if we talk about the total value locked between the two chains, it seems that both of it is almost identical. I think this is one of the prime factors that underrates XPR. Look at the TVL and look at the market cap. So check this out: XPR $66 million, XRPL $82 million. Now look at this. Now you tell me which one looks undervalued. Obviously, folks, XPR network seems to be undervalued because total value locked in comparison to the market cap is speaks volumes. So this is what happens when a real community locks up liquidity, builds protocols, and creates actual utility on chain. We're trying to build a financial system with compliance, with law, with regulation, with legality in place, folks. And if we talk about the DeFi, legal, compliant DeFi infrastructure, loan protocol powered on XPR is trying to build that as well, where you can put your assets to work, borrow, and lend in a fully regulated manner. Now, this is the key term over here, folks. Everything should be by the rule, by the book of the states, of the countries, of the governments. We shouldn't be doing anything that is against them, and a regulated environment is extremely important to achieve that, folks. That's for sure. So yeah, look at this. Why the future of finance will be governed, not managed. So check this out. For decades, financial governance has meant one thing: control concentrated in the hands of a few executives, boards, or regulators who operate behind closed doors. But the world is changing. Governance is becoming a feature, not a process. Uh, Folks, the infrastructure of finance needs an overhaul because we need outdated systems. We need to change the outdated systems and replace them with the new ways, the new technology to help the overall world of finance, from hierarchies to networks. Traditional institutions rely on layers of authority, a chain of signatures, manual approvals, and periodic audits. And the new model, it's going to be much more transparent, having a good infrastructure inside. A transaction isn't just executed, it is co-signed through multi-approval systems. A proposal isn't just discussed, it is voted on in real time. A mistake isn't final, it is reversible through transparent consensus. And basically, the Metallicus ecosystem wants to achieve that in the world of finance. in which transparency is going to be happening. Transparency replaces hierarchy, consensus replaces paperwork, and one of the most important thing is accountability, folks. People or organizations need to be accountable for their actions. This will replace trust assumptions. So this is really great. Yeah, shared custody, the rise of multi-signature authority, reversible transactions, accountability in action, a new governance standard for finance. So this is the new governance standard for finance that is happening as we're speaking, folks. So the financial networks who replace this will gain, obviously, they'll gain trust and approval from the broader market, broader the global financial system. So yeah, faster decision making through structured on-chain voting, lower fraud risk. Obviously, folks, this world is at this point filled with various scams and everything that is happening in the financial systems, pump and dumps, scams, and all of that. So we need to lower that fraud risk, obviously. And higher user confidence is required through transparency and reversibility. Obviously, folks, any project, any business model can survive, it can succeed or fail. We should be researching well, but I think that if any project tries to achieve this end, that is really good. And if Metallicus is trying to do that, then it is really great as well. Meanwhile, look at this, the bigger picture. What XPR network demonstrates is simple yet profound. When governance is coded into the fabric of a financial system, it becomes trustless without being heartless. So, what does this mean, folks? This means that being trustless without being heartless. First and foremost, trustless means when no third party is involved. So, when no third party is involved, most of the time it happens that the process goes out of hand. So, over here we are saying that it needs to be trustless, no intermediaries more, but it shouldn't be heartless. It should have a good system and it should be accountable without being that bureaucratic and a bit stringent. So this is in the future of crypto, folks. In particular, it seems to be the future of finance that these utility projects are trying to build, at least. And I think that this is a really, really interesting read over here, folks. So do check this out. Yes. Meanwhile, folks, let me share with you over here Loan Protocol. I told you guys that it is trying to build a regulated DeFi infrastructure, 14 digital assets available for lending and borrowing, no transaction fees ever, folks. So this is awesome. Okay, if we compare the market caps of both XPR and XRP, look at this. Fun times ahead at Richmond High. Price of XPR network, if it is not, obviously, folks, it can happen, anything can and not happen. I've told you guys, but if it happens, the market cap reaches the current market cap of XRP. XPR's price might be around $5.37 if it happens eventually. Will it not is an entirely different story because it all depends on development. It all depends upon the team and how they deliver. So if it indeed reaches, then obviously the investors are going to be happy, but we all should be careful and only invest with research, obviously, folks. Now look at this. Paul Gray over here says that I often get asked how the liquidity pools and farm work on MetalX app. Here's a super quick rundown I filmed last month showing the basics. We are very lucky on MetalX. The process is relatively intuitive, and once you watch this video, it should click. So let's check this out because oftentimes people ask the tutorials how to do certain things, certain complex things. So this is always great when a certain team member himself tries to show us how it is done, folks. So this is Paul Gray, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Today we're going to have a quick look at the swap feature on MetalX and how that kind of works with the liquidity pools and the farm. So anytime you come into MetalX and you want to do a swap, say $10 for some XPR for example, what's happening in the background is it's using something called an automated market maker, which is a bunch of smart contracts to kind of automate the swap between two assets provided by liquidity providers in the liquidity pools. So simply put, it's using assets from the pools to enable the swap function here. And in order to compensate people that provide their liquidity to the pools, there is a 0.2% fee on every swap, and the fee is distributed amongst everyone who contributes assets into the liquidity pools. So if we head on over to the pools here, you can see there's a bunch of different liquidity pools with different asset pairs. Today we're going to have a look at one of the main ones, which is USDC and XPR. You can see there's $4.2 million here in the liquidity pools, and the APR is approximately 12.5%. So let's put some funds into the liquidity pool. I'm going to put about 100 USDC and the equivalent value in XPR, so we've got about the same amount on each side. And by becoming a liquidity provider, I help create a robust swap system. So now that I've added my assets into the liquidity pool, I'm going to have some what's called LP tokens or liquidity pool tokens pop up down here. And you can see here my liquidity is in the pools under XPR USDC. And you can see here my pool share. Now the pool is quite large with $4.2 million worth, and I've only put $100 in on each side, so my share is rather small. But what is farms, you ask? How do farms come into play? Well, farms are another layer on top of the liquidity pools, right? So if we head on over to the farm here, you can see there are a bunch of farms, and you can see our farm that we're looking for, which is the XPR USDC, and you can also see the APR here is a little bit over 30%. So the idea behind the farms is that they emit incentives. In this case, in this pool, it is XPR, and the incentives are essentially a way to encourage people to hold their keep liquidity into the pools to create a more robust swap experience. So in this case, I'm going to take my LP tokens from the liquidity pool, and I'm going to drag my staking up to 100%. So I'm going to stake 100% of my LP tokens. I'm going to click confirm. And what this is doing is it's taking my liquidity pool tokens and putting them into the farm as a staking token. So you can see here I'm sending my liquidity pool tokens to the yield farms. I'm going to authorize my transaction, and just like that, I have started earning additional rewards. And of course, anytime I want to harvest those rewards, simply click harvest. There's no fees to claim your rewards. In fact, there's no fees whatsoever in terms of transaction fees on the XPR network. So that's about it. Hopefully it was helpful. If you have any questions or...
Great, folks. It always helps when a team member tries to present us with the tutorials and whatnots, because oftentimes these different platforms, they are a bit difficult to use. So I hope that it helped you guys. This one again, yeah, just a moment. So let's check this out. Yeah, most people sleep on XPR, but here's why that is a mistake. It is instant, feeless, and it is built for real world payments, not the meme coins, obviously, folks, the ones that are shelled the most. We want a real change. We want the projects and the businesses, the ones that can truly provide us something of value in the real world, regulated and KYC ready, backed by real utility, not just hype. Awesome. Everyone is chasing the next 100x. Meanwhile, XPR is quietly building the future of payments. This is great. Awesome. And oftentimes the utility projects, different projects, folks, be it XRP or others, they are talked about often. But there are only a handful of people that are at this point talking about MEDL, XPR, the foundation of the DDPN movement. And hopefully that they provide us something special and useful. So look at this. There are few basically who understand Metal and XPR, as they are quietly building the rails for the new US Treasury dollar, and in the meanwhile trying to move the money, and in the process, Rail Utility powers the XPR network for gasless DeFi transactions, connects to Metal blockchain. We're talking about XPR, I think. The first BSA and FinCEN compliant chain, enables white label apps for credit unions and community banks. Adoption use cases used by Metallica's partners like Saint Cloud Financial Credit Union, the first credit union in the US launching a stablecoin. Built-in KYC AML compliance, bridging TradeFi and DeFi safely, and keyword over here, legally, folks. And it is really important that everyone does everything by the law. So while others chase marketing hype, XPR and Metal are literally building the financial rails that millions will use without even knowing it. So folks, what do you guys think about XPR network? Do you think that indeed they are building the future of finance? I would really like your opinions. Do hit the comment box below and let the community know. Anyways, guys, this was it for the video. If you liked it, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification icon if you're interested in utility coins and potential gems. And you can also support the channel by checking out Patreon by following the link in the description box below. Until next time, stay blessed and stay tuned. Thank you very much, everyone.